Allies concerned about Ukraine's counteroffensive. New CNN reporting reveals that allies are getting sobering updates from the battleground, specifically about Ukrainian forces' ability to retake significant territory. One senior U.S. official says the counteroffensive is going harder and slower than anyone would like. Ukraine also has a limited window to push forward, officials say. Weather and fighting conditions are expected to worsen when fall approaches, and this is, of course, a marked change from the optimistic rhetoric that we heard at the start of the offensive. CNN chief U.S. security correspondent Jim Sciutto joins us now from Washington, D.C. with his reporting. Jim, this is a very important development and insight into the thinking of the Western officials and allies. What is the actual surprise or disappointment here specifically? Because we knew that this counteroffensive would be grueling. It's essentially an attrition war. What elements were raised to you?
It's a number of things, really, Bianca, and I'm hearing quite similar assessments both here in the U.S. and in Europe, and that goes for military officials, diplomats, as well as lawmakers. Some of it was expected. Russian defensive lines are difficult to breach. They are multi-layered. They are covered with tens of thousands of mines, and they have incurred, as they've tried to breach those lines, just devastating losses. Ukrainian forces have. And as a result of that, they have pulled some of those units back because they want to reduce those losses, understandably. But there are also longer-term issues here. Some criticism of the short amount of training that was possible for some of these Ukrainian units, particularly as they receive new advanced Western weapon systems like the German Leopard tank. In some cases, I'm told, just about 8 weeks of training. And big picture, the challenge of turning units into really mechanized brigades in a short time span is a difficult thing to do, and to do with success. And we're seeing the results of that with this really back and forth along the front lines, gaining some territory in some areas, but certainly not to the degree that had been hoped. And I've been told by administration officials as well that disappointment goes for Western officials, but also for the Ukrainians themselves. They haven't given up hope, but as you mentioned, Bianca, time pressure is real. Fall is coming. Weather, fighting conditions are going to worsen, and there's also political pressure, both here and in Europe, for success, and success quickly.